Oh, there we go. All right, peace family. I have Donte Carter with me with Body from Scratch Fit Philosophy. And so we're going to be talking about a little bit of what he does, what his programs consist of, what Fit Philosophy means, and also how it correlates to detox. So Donte, you can go ahead and introduce yourself. Tell us what you do, where you from, you know.
Okay, so I'm from Washington, D.C. I've been doing fitness for the last 15 and a half years. I played some ball prior to, but what happened was I went back to school. And when I went back to school, I kind of learned that I didn't have the knowledge that I thought I did, and so therefore not having the knowledge that I thought I had at the time, I went to a therapist. And that therapist, Dr. Banks, which is still one of my mentors to this day, he just showed me and how my brain worked. And from that point, I just took off. Wow. So it's like, once I learned NLP, the neuro-linguistic programming of things, once I learned, I had this guy, it's like things happen in people's life for a reason, because one person that lived, at one point in time, I was in an apartment. And I had a neighbor that used to always be like, "Hey man, you sound like that dude Les Brown." I didn't know about none of that at first. And so then I just got to the point where I'm like, let me see who this dude is. Right. And I actually started in Les Brown. And from there, like I said, my life went to another level, because not only did I study Les Brown, but I know about Eric Thomas. I know about the Tony Robbins. I know about the Zig Ziglars, the Jim Rons. I mean, I studied. I just went on a rampage to study everybody. And then I got to the point where, like, why am I doing this? Like, it was just boring. It was exciting, but it was boring. And right. But then now, at this level here, I know that everything I learned was for everybody else. And so not only did I learn about the body, but I also learned about philosophy. And that's where I'm big on philosophy at. So when people ask me questions, sometimes it just taps in, and then all of a sudden, it just it clicked, because it's there.
Right.
But with being able to sit down, be still, and things of that nature, I wouldn't have been able to even provide this type of information. So I'm blessed to the point whereas now I understand that sometimes we do things prior to our futuristic selves that means a lot to everybody else.
So true. What's one of your main philosophies that you go by? One of your fit philosophies? Give us one of those.
Let's see. What you do consistently, you become good at. What you consistently do continuously, you become great at. The moment you're able to do it unconsciously, you become a professional. And this is why we don't have to wake up in the morning and practice talking, because we've been doing it too much. You're a professional talker. We don't have to practice being a bullshitter. Yeah, I mean, you know what I mean? I mean, whatever you are, you don't have to practice walking, nothing. Why? Because you did it so many times. So why not, whatever you desire, why not go do that so many times that it becomes a habit, a part of the paradigm, and you become a professional. You should be a professional millionaire. You should be a professional business person. You should be a professional mother or a professional father. Or even if you're going to be let's see, a person that draw, whatever the case may be a professional at that. And that just means reputation. Professional, it broken down is really reputation. I mean, repetition, I'm sorry.
Repetition.
Yeah.
Right, correct. I remember one time you were teaching me a method of how you use repetition to study. You recall what it was? You want to share that? It's a real good gem. It was something about like reading something 5 times a day for 5 minutes or something like that. I can't remember.
The 5-5-5.
Right.
So you do something 5 times a day for 5 days in a row and try your best to forget it. It's impossible to forget. So right. if I go to the park, okay, this is how this can relate to some other people. Some people get up, since the pandemic, what happened was a lot of people found themselves in their homes, adjusting to different lifestyles, right?
Right.
So what happened was I had a guy, right? His name is well, I'm not even going to disclose his name, but bottom line, I had a guy, and every time he talked to me, I noticed the background looked the same. I'm like, where you at? Man? Like, oh, man, I'm in the park. I'm like, oh, okay. I be in the park too. So I'm like, damn, what park you at? The whole time he was in the same park I was in, but he was on a different side. I never knew that.
Wow.
I never knew he was over there. I just knew that I see trees behind me. That's all I seen, but behind him. And so anyway, but I noticed that what happens is with the 555 is if you do something 5 times in one day for 5 days in a row, it's going to become a part of your paradigm. You're going to get used to doing it.
Right.
So once it becomes unconscious, that's just when you somehow find yourself in the same position all the time.
Right.
And people don't know that. Okay, so with that method being said, with anything you would like to do, whether it's health, whether it's getting your parents together or getting your family life together or whatever the case may be, you have to do it every time. And these are the things that we forgot about because we didn't pay attention to this. If you think about your lifestyle back in the day, everything was repeated. It was just repeated. You went to school at a certain time, you ate cereal at a certain time, you came home, you went to go play at a certain time. Everything was the same. And you did it so many times that it became an unconscious behavior. So the 5 times in a row for 5 days and try to forget it is one of the methods that I learned. And I learned that because I wasn't smart. So when I started getting behind the computer and learning, I said, all right, let me try this then. Okay, since it worked, let me see if it worked. And it's just been proven that it worked. I could study the same thing. I could tell you right now, if you don't have an affirmation or incantation, I could pretty much type of lifestyle you have.
That's
if
deep.
you
Say
don't
that
have,
one more time. One more time. Say it one more time for us.
If you don't have an affirmation or incantation, I can predict what type of lifestyle you have, which would be one that's controlled by somebody else.
Right. That's good stuff. Yeah. All right. I want to talk about kind of switching the subject, going into the wellness side of the game. Tell us about the story of when you, I can't remember if you made yourself get gout or you had gout and you cured yourself of it through, I guess I don't know what method you used, but like share that with us.
All right. So what happened? Can you can still hear me clear?
Oh yeah, you're clear. Yep.
Okay. So what happened was, in order to graduate, remember I told you I was in a program doing kinesiology.
Right.
In order to graduate out of those type of programs, you actually have to go through the things that you will be approaching in life or in your business.
Right.
One of them was carpal tunnel, and then you had gout, and you had diabetes. You say, why would somebody give themselves diabetes? To prove that you can fix it. That's why. This is what we're here for. We are holistic.
True.
Right? So we holistic. I did gout. I didn't even think it was gonna hurt like that. I ain't gonna lie. Gout hurt. It hurt. I exposed myself to gout twice. I did it twice, actually. And what I did was I consumed a lot of yeast.
Okay.
I was drinking beer, all sorts of things, eating from 7-Eleven. There's nothing in the world healthy in 7-Eleven at all, not even their water. But
not even their cold pressed juice that they got.
Yeah, you already know I know that. That's right. Even the cold, none of it is good. None of it.
Right.
FYI. Now, so I was inducing I was putting purine in my body, purine and yeast. In order to get rid of purine, you have to use the opposite. I always call it Bellerophon. So Bellerophon is the opposite of chimera. Chimera is like actually the disease. Bellerophon is the enemy that comes to get rid of the disease.
Right.
I think it was Mission Impossible 1 or I think it was Mission Impossible 2, Tom Cruise.
Mm-hmm.
And they talked about they extensively, that whole movie was based off of this terminology. But anyway, so you have Bellerophon and then you have Chimera. Chimera was the beast. It was the disease.
Right.
Bellerophon, the guy, the superhero. Okay.
Yeah, I love this analogy. This is good.
Yeah,
good.
I do it that way because it's easier to understand.
Right.
Now, once I had gout, which means I had too much yeast in my system, too much purine in my system, I was definitely acidic.
Right.
Now, what do I do to fix it? So what I did was I already researched it before I even did it, number one. But number two, I didn't know if it was going to work, but I was like, come on, it can't happen to me. I'm an athlete, so it can't happen to me. No, it happened to me. I'm going to tell you, my feet were locked up. I was going to train people. Actually, you even know I was training people with my slippers because I couldn't even wear shoes. Everything swelled up, elbows, bursitis, all that. And so what I had to do was I had to and then on top of that, I didn't even think about what I had to do because I was in pain. I was the individual that was in pain.
Right.
See, it's easy for me on the outside to tell you how to get in shape. It's easy for me on the outside to tell you how to reduce this or how to stop this. But when you're going through it, I also understand. And so just letting people know when you go through it, this is what it's about. Okay, so I went through the pain. I had to get my mind right and think about what I need to do. And what I did was malic acid. So malic acid comes from dark berries, cherries, and things of that nature. Once I found out that, I was like, okay, so where do I get it from? The first thing I thought about was strawberries for some reasons. But it was strawberries, it was dark cherries, it was all that. And I was going to buy them, but it was expensive.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh, come on, man, that's expensive, right? So I had to do a little bit more deeper in research. And so I found out about dark cherry, organic dark tart. Yeah, the tart juice. Man, when I found out that, I said, okay, they had a 32-ounce bottle. It was $9, but there was $9 that was worth it because when I kept right there in 2 days, my inflammation went down, number one. And then number two, I started drinking more water because I was more conscious.
Yeah.
That's key. The key on being healthy is to be conscious. You have to be consciously aware that you need to be healthy. If you have a problem with your gut flora, if you have a problem with bursitis in your elbows or knees or shoulders or any joint, if you have a problem with your eating habits, if you have if anything take you away from being aware, then you're not in control. Something else is in control. So that could be family. Yeah, if you go pick your kids up like me, I picked my kids up at 1:55. I picked my first daughter up at 1:55. I picked my second daughter up at 2:25, and then my son come home, but he come home at 3, right? If I'm thinking about where they at, I'm not focused. You got to be focused. You forget where they at. Love yourself enough to be here long enough to show other people how much you appreciate them. That is major. If you die, they don't give a shit. That's just real talk. It's not that they don't love you. It's just that life still goes on and they have to do what they have to do while you're not here. So while you are here and while you are a predominant figure in someone's life, as far as health, it's important to get up, get out, and go take a walk for an hour. If you don't have an hour of power, 45 minutes of fulfillment, 30 minutes to thrive, or 15 minutes to freedom, then you shouldn't be here. You wasting my air.
Right. I like that.
Yeah.
Yep. I feel you on that. I appreciate you. Anything else you want to talk to us about? Tell us about your business. How can we find you on social media, or how can we reach you?
Yeah, I'm always Donte Carter. You always see I think I had somebody hack me or something because I had like 3. Most people know what it is, but other than that, Donte Carter, Instagram, Cash App, all that. It is what it is. The objective is to make millions of dollars and enjoy life while you're doing it. So You know,
Absolutely.
tribute. Sometimes people just want to contact and connect with you. Sometimes people need a little bit of motivation. A lot of times the people need interventions and things of that. You can always just reach me at my personal number, which is no problem with me, but that's 301-213-6319. You can always just give me a call, whomever this is or whomever on the other side of this call. And I'm definitely, if I'm not available, when I am available for you. So that's the key, you know?
That's what's up. I appreciate you talking to us today. Hopefully I can have you again next time. We'll talk about some other things because we always talking like all the time. We got good information, you know. So I appreciate your time.
I like the shirt. It said $1 billion mindset, $1 billion.
Yeah,
Damn.
I had to go. You
Woo.
gotta dream big. You know what I'm saying? Just in case if I miss that mark, at least it'll be a couple million. You know what I'm saying? Like, you gotta dream big.
It say aim for the moon. If you
Right.
fall short, you land on the stars, right?
We got to, man. We got information that the collective need to know. So I feel like we big. It ain't even about the money. It's about the mindset.
Yeah.
The money's just it's a byproduct of that, you know, but we have
Yeah.
a message that people need to know, and it's gonna happen within time, you know?
Yeah, everybody will be successful if we just slow down and start smiling more than we frown.
Yeah, that part. Yep. I feel you. All right. Peace and love. I'll talk to you soon.
Peace, love, and head grease, pimp.
All right.